Ever roll into your favorite boondocking spot to find 10 rigs already there and a shiny new no camping sign in your favorite spot to park?
And the only spot left is on a 45-degree slope that's going to be impossible to level? Yeah, we've been there.
And this year it's happening a lot more and at our favorite places to boondock. You know that one spot where I could see the stars in the sky and they were so bright I could reach out and touch them?
So what's going on with our favorite places to unplug? Is boondocking disappearing? Or are RVers just loving boondocking a little too much?
When we first went full-time over 2,835 days ago, boondocking was the one thing we were most looking forward to. Quiet mornings, off all by ourselves, just sipping our coffee right outside the RV.
And let's not forget, no barking dogs, no generators humming at night, and maybe, just maybe if you're lucky, a coyote howling off in the distance. After the first time we boondocked, we were hooked.
Fast forward to this year, and instead of sleeping under the stars, we're waking up to trash piles, abandoned cars, muddy ruts so deep it comes all the way up to my calf, and people are actually using trees to hang out their laundry to dry.
Maybe it comes up to your little knees, but it is ridiculous and it ticks us off. So we asked ourselves, what's changed? Why aren't these quiet places quiet anymore?
Social media is both the best and the worst thing that has happened to boondocking.
Yeah, you post one epic drone shot and 2 weeks later it's on somebody's top 10 free camping spot list.
We've done it too, guilty as charged. But that's why we only share our GPS coordinates for our favorite boondocking with our Sunday crew. We really want to protect our favorite places.
So keep watching until the end because it's not all doom and gloom. We're going to show you how we all can help protect our favorite spaces so that they're open for the long haul. It's not just about too many rigs out there. We've seen a few bad apples out there messing it up for everyone. We've seen trash piles, we've seen gray water pouring into the ground. We've even seen abandoned vehicles and furniture.
Land Misuse is igniting proposals to ban dispersed camping altogether. As a matter of fact, in the St. George Laverton, Utah area, they are proposing to close 15,000 acres for dispersed camping. And it's all because they can't keep up with these bad apples. They just don't have the resources to clean up after everyone.
So yes, how you use and abuse the land really matters. If you wouldn't dig a hole and dump your gray or black tank in your own backyard, please don't do it out here. This is somebody else's backyard. It's Mother Nature's, and it's yours and it's mine.
Now imagine being a park ranger and having to maintain over 25,000 acres all by yourself with your single vehicle. You wake up in the morning to land misuse, people staying much longer than they're supposed to, and trash everywhere.
They didn't make the rules to block RVs. They did it because the system is overwhelmed. When a dispersed area closes, it almost never reopens.
In case you're wondering, yes, it is Red Shirt Friday, and we are wearing our red because we like to remember everyone deployed.
So if you're not wearing a red shirt, we'll pause again, go put it on, come back, and you can finish the video.
This is a very bad angle. You're way up there.
I know, that's because you're, you're using your little alligator arms to hold the camera. You're chopping my head up. Let me get down here.
Okay, that's better. Yes,
there we go.
Now we can talk.
Happy Red Friday. And it's not all just about the rules. It's about safety. Safety for all of us.
Here's the reality. Too many campers, too much gear, and combine that with the worst case scenario, somebody starts a fire somewhere, somebody gets hurt, and nobody can get out and go for help.
If we lose access because of one wildfire or a liability claim shuts it down, we're all out.
Every time we include the e-bikes in the video, we always get a ton of questions about our helmets, the e-bikes, and how we haul them on the RV. So I figured I would head off some of the questions and answer them ahead of time. So first of all, everyone who rides an e-bike should be wearing a helmet. Christina, this means you. And the helmets we use are by Sena. And the reason we like them is because they have a Bluetooth intercom in them. So I can talk to Phil, he can talk to me, and the next time I crash into a cactus bush, he'll actually know I've crashed and might come back to help me. I don't know where that comes from or why I think that, but it's totally a thing.
Our e-bikes are made by Lectric, And we've tested just about every electric e-bike that they have out there. And each time they've gotten better with the design, the long-range battery. It's like they actually listen to what the RVers need.
Because for us, this RV life isn't about sitting in a chair outside our RV. It's for getting out there and exploring. And these bikes can take us into town for breakfast. They can take us on any kind of trail. And if you're like Phil, they can take you back and forth to the campground office every time we need to pick up mail.
Our electric e-bikes give us a lot of freedom. They're easy to unfold so we can hit the trails running.
And the best thing about Lectric is not the great bikes they make. The best thing is that they're great people. Every time we've reached out to them to join one of our veteran fundraisers, they've said yes.
We would not have raised almost $250,000 for our veterans without their help.
If you're in the market for an e-bike, make sure you check out Lectric because November is their biggest sale of the year. You don't want to miss out. So click this QR code right here on Phil's face or the link down below. We are not done boondocking, far from it. So let's talk about what we can do together.
Step 1, let's follow the rules. Those 14-day stay limits, they're not suggestions. Please don't assume that if you stay one more week or one more day, it won't hurt anyone.
Step 2, leave it better than you found it. Every time we boondock, we go through and pick up trash that's usually left behind by someone else. And yeah, it's not glamorous.
But it does earn you genuine karma points. And it's important because it keeps the land open for all of us to use.
Step 3, skip the crowded, insta-famous spots when you go boondocking. Instead, find those true, off-the-beaten-path hidden gems. You can find them using our favorite apps like RV Life, you can use Campendium and iOverlander. Those are great resources for you. And don't think you have to have a tiny little van to find some great boondocking spots. We have a 35-foot motorhome and our friends come along with us and they have a 45-footer.
Step 4. This is a really good one. Talk with the locals and the rangers. We've discovered more talking with the rangers than we ever did Googling the interwebs for boondocking spots. They want us to understand what is going on in their area.
And finally, be the neighbor that you would want parking beside you. Don't put your trash all over the place. No generators going till past midnight. No music blaring at 3 a.m. And of course, our biggest pet peeve, don't park right beside somebody if you have acres of open land all around you.
It's really not that hard. Just don't be that guy.
Boondocking isn't just about saving money for us. It's about diving into this big, beautiful world and feeling small in the best way possible.
Look, we don't believe boondocking is disappearing, but we do believe it's changing.
How we treat these public lands right now will decide if we get to use them in the next few years and if our kids get to use them 10 years into the future.
So if you love the lifestyle like we do, protect it, clean it, speak up, and set the example.
Because the best campsites aren't found on a map. They are earned. They are earned by taking care of the spots that we have right now. If you've noticed boondocking getting harder to find, let us know down in the comments where you've seen the biggest changes.
And if you want to join a community of RVers that get this lifestyle and want to protect it like we do, then join our Sunday crew. It's where the community meets the open road.
Now, get out there, find some boondocking, and leave it better than you found it. When he?
Oh, who's he?
I don't know.
I need to know. It's ruining it.
I know, I messed that up.
Yeah, they're ruining for to your knees
to
for
my
you because you
calves.
have weenies. Why can't I say ruin? Ruining.
That was really good too.
What's another word for ruin?
Muddy, blah, blah.
No, they didn't. That are ruining, and I can't say it anyway. How you and us.
Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, how.
I didn't know what to say.
Cue the barking dog.
I know.
Jumping. Jumping like jumping rope. Come on. Come on.
Oh, and I did so good.
My
I'm so
breath.
close. Here, let's.
What if I do this?
You want to talk like this? Like RV a lot. All right, let's try again.
Yes, Darth Vader.
First
Yeah,
camping.
why
Okay.
can't I do that?
Are you ready? Find. Come on. Ready, go.
We parked it over there.